All right, y'all. Bearder Bros Golf Show back again for another week. I'm Rod.
And Marcus.
Um, if we're interrupting your All Star NBA All Star viewing, you know it doesn't get good until the fourth quarter anyway. You can pretty
If
much
that.
like lock in with us for the next hour. Get your golf in. We're going to discuss, quite a few topics, keeping it kind of high and tight. But you know us, we might drag this thing out a whole hour. We'll see. So honestly, coming off of the Genesis, I went into the week kind of ho hum, mixed bag. I really didn't know how to really experience this week. And then we had a lot of action within the week, and then finished off in a great flurry. So, tell me, where did you want to start? I'll let you guide based on the notes.
Let's start with Tiger. Let's get it out the way. I mean, our tournament host tried his best,
Yep.
tried his darndest, gave it a good college try.
Yeah, that's about it. So
Golly, man.
Tiger got through about 18 holes, really 17 and a half. I think he teed off on six in round two.
Oh,
Ended up
darn.
having to be carted in because of illness, which I think people were somewhat nervous because he finished the first round with the shank on 18.
Yep.
Referenced the back spasms, and so we're all kind of, we have the collective PTSD with Tiger and not being able to finish rounds. But turned out that it ended up being the flu, which is cool, but no less disappointing. I can't say that, I was not worried about it. I
Right.
genuinely was concerned. Even though he didn't look great, he's the greatest ball striker we've ever seen. So
Yeah.
he's able to just get the ball around, get it in the hole, make some serviceable birdies here and there just to keep it in reach. What do you think of Tiger's 17 and a half holes?
Yeah. It was like 24. Hater.
Was it
Was he?
24? Oh,
He
you're
got
right. You're right. My math is bad. My math is bad. You're right. 18 plus the five and a half. My bad. You're right. Sorry.
I mean, he showed his usual glimpses. I mean, truly, like the ball striking was there. He hit some great iron shots into the greens. He's played there many times before, so he knows the greens at Riv. So he was reading them great, great pace. He didn't never really, shot one like 5, 6 feet by. Everything was in within gimme range on the way back. So I mean, it showed glimpses. I mean, I think we're in a better space of receiving Tiger than we ever have in the last like 2 or 3 years. So all things considered, I will accept his flu withdrawal just because of what else he showed. And of course, with the label drop and the hosting and everything like that, he had a lot on his table. So probably just hugged one of them kids a little bit too hard and he coughed on him. He 48, so immune system ain't there
Well,
no more.
and the media stuff. So he was there.
Right.
Um, I think they had 120 media slash influencer folks there to
Being a
talk
pro
about the
now,
brand.
yeah,
Yeah,
bro. Like,
lot of human interaction, and there is
yeah,
stuff going around these days. So I think
it
you're
is that
probably right.
season.
Just came in contact with the wrong person, and they didn't wash their hands or just sneezed or something, and you know all it takes is one little sniffle, and it's
Hmm.
over with. So he looked miserable.
He
They had to
did.
bring in the IV, and
Yeah, he stayed
I
on the
think it's
course for like
valid.
2 or 3 years, 2 or 3 hours after he withdrew, just in like
Right.
the medical tent or whatever.
But good to know that it's not physical. And,
Definitely.
I think, do you want to go ahead and get into the apparel drop as well? Because I think there's some things
Yeah,
that I picked up on that I thought were interesting. The most, the clothes, pants. One, I don't understand why Sunday can't be one word. We'll start there. That's weird to me. Maybe it's a trademark thing. Who knows?
gotta
But
be.
this is a co-release with TaylorMade. But the most interesting part of the collection was the shoes for me. So he's gonna have his own shoes. based on his feedback, it's a traditional golf shoe. He was
Yeah.
wearing it. The most crucial part is that he said he's been wearing the soft spike only at home in Florida. A little more flat, probably a little bit drier than the surfaces at Riv and, different grass types. He
Hmm.
threw some metal spikes in the shoe, to through the after the program and practice rounds and then going into the round and a half that he played. But very interesting that he's going away, at least had been comfortable enough playing the soft spikes. That was the most interesting part of all their release stuff to
Yeah.
me. Um, Probably speaks to how well his leg is healing up after that ankle surgery he underwent after the Masters last year. I think that's very reassuring to me,
Yeah.
given that that's the latest injury and he's finding stability in a non, hard spiked shoe, or at least had been up until this week. What do you think about that? What
Agree.
was your takeaway from the apparel? Anything that you picked up on?
Yeah. Well, of course, I mean, you're always wondering and just hoping for good colorways, good polo combinations, and a decent fit for the pants. Now, these modernized golf brands really are kind of like, well, pretty much everybody that plays golf nowadays is skinny. Everybody that's bigger has some place that they're grabbing their pants from, and it's not golf pants. There's always the bigger guys that are in like Levi jeans and shit like that. Like, nobody is ever really truly
Okay.
just ready for like these tailored pants that these brands be dropping. But through and through, I like what he's doing with it as far as the availability for all different aspects, especially since it's through TaylorMade. So gloves, hats, shades, all that stuff, all the accessories. So we can be, Sunday down. And I think one aspect that's crazy to me that really isn't that crazy, but also is just kind of like eye opening is how Tiger Woods was like, I'm done with the TW logo. They can have it. Like I don't need to they don't need to relinquish that, or I don't need to wait a certain amount of time for them to be able to recoup it. I'm done with it. I don't need that logo. He's got the Puma Slazenger Cougar big cat animal on his stuff. So it's got the 15 rungs, so it's meaningful. I think that's cool. But like, just figuring out how it's all gonna work out is gonna be a different, beast, especially when it comes to the shoes, like you mentioned. Because dude, that's a concept shoe, bro. Concept shoes don't always look good. Just like what we went through with the TW shoes. The TW13, amazing, hot spot. TW14 got a little sleeker. Maybe wasn't always the best for the actual foot and the insole and everything like that, but a great look. Looks was great at the cost of, comfort. But if you're riding, you don't have to really worry about that. If you're walking, you might be kind of hot about that. But after that, the shoe was sucked. The shoe sucked, period. Like it didn't look good, it didn't function well, it was flimsily made. So a lot of that stuff really just kind of like compounded, and the TW shoe just really faded away. That's why they re-dropped the TW13. But
Yeah.
I think he's got some good momentum going, especially with the way that he is really trying to build on comfort. So,
Yeah.
hopefully he stays down that realm. And I think
I
honestly, he
don't
was
hate him.
probably no, I don't hate him. Remember, they're like a mesh between the Foot J Premier and like some Adidas shoe or whatever, whatever, whatever,
Let
whatever.
me
But
let me
pull it up. But in the meantime, I do think Tiger needs to get more acclimated with soft spikes, not just in Florida, but everywhere he goes, mainly because the metal spikes are not very forgiving, especially when you're on metal and concrete and stuff like that. When you're going from clubhouse to practice facility to course, and you're not always going to be able to just take a cart everywhere you need to go. You're going to have to walk some of those ways. I mean, especially with some of these nice courses where the clubhouse has been rebuilt and reconstructed to where it's at the top, and you got to walk downhill or you got to walk, a blocker, something to where the practice facilities are and everything like that. So, it's not always going to be the easiest route for him. So, soft spikes is definitely going to help him out with that. And I think going forward, I think the shoe design is going to get nothing but better. Um, but I think Rod is just getting reconnected, something with his Wi-Fi. Probably he's probably just reconnecting to the one that's a little bit more smoother. But we'll go on, um, and we'll double back to the shoe design and everything like that when he gets back on board and presents that image. But also in the withdrawal slash DQ realm is Jordan Spieth. Unfortunately, you know everybody that had a chance to watch the live coverage on Golf Channel this Friday. He had a great round one, shot like a 65 with 6 under, was in the mix. Kind of just was reeling it back on Friday. Didn't just like we always aforementioned, you never can put two rounds back to back together. So of course Jordan Spieth hot 65 and then freaking over par on his Friday round. Still was going to make the cut, was still going to be, only a mere 10 shots back. And you saw what Hideki did to win it. But, like, I definitely think he did it out of frustration. I think it was partly intentional because of how he finished, but also,
Oh, hold on, you going? We're gonna you with
huh?
me. Oh my god. We're gonna come back to that Jordan thing, but I kicked myself out of my own stream. I at least wanted to put these Sunday Reds up. I like the white version, bro. I'm sorry, I'm backtracking. I like the white and red. The black and red, I was a little meh on. Which
Right.
did you have a preference?
Yeah, the white shoe is clean. Well, I mean, I
It's
need a new
clean.
pair of white shoes, so I definitely like those. And it's a sleek look. Like I
You
said,
know,
it's a FootJoy
it's
Premier.
FJ ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Sorry. Okay. So I'm not
Oh,
gonna even have you. I know you. I know you threw out the whole deal about Jordan. What did you? What did I catch? You said you think he did it on purpose.
bruh, he did that. I think he did that intentionally, bro. Like not like wholeheartedly, like 100%. I'm just gonna scribble my name and not even look at it. But like again, dude was pretty much in the mix, and then doubles with a lip out on 18. Dude was hot. You saw him when he walked off the green. He fist bumped folks, didn't take the hat off, and he's playing with city mate Tom Kim, and then another homie that we all know and love too. His group was a featured group. He played with
Yeah,
it was Speed, Tom Kim, and again like somebody else we know. But yeah, bro, he didn't even do one of the little brim to the forehead type dudes. Like he was hot, and I think he
but
really
he was within the cut line though, right?
right. Yeah, no, he was gonna make the cut, but it's a designated event. So he makes the cut, continues to play shitty golf. He was still gonna get a check. I think honestly, he probably still did get a check. That's why he wasn't really
No,
mad. He
no.
didn't when you get
You
the okay.
DQ. Yeah, but so lowest man. So in 51 guys ended up making the cut, right? And it was like
Yeah,
I think they were going top 50 and then within 10 strokes of the lead. So
yeah,
Chase Johnson got the Charlie Sifford exemption. He ended up +5, finishing 51st, right ahead of Charlie Hoffman, who finished +4. They took home 51K and 52. At least you want your bills to be taken care of. To be, be out in LA, you probably spent, a decent chunk of change getting out there, all that, the expenses that come with it, you at least wanted to take home something, right? Especially if you knew
yeah.
it was
Make your money
a
back or
guaranteed
whatever.
check leaving there. I
Yeah,
don't know, man. I think that's where, the Michael Kim insight kind of comes into play. And
yeah,
I'm sorry I didn't get it queued up here, but let me just read from his tweet. Again, we've talked about Michael Kim being one of the most um, insightful PGA players and his reflections and just talking about the game. But he said,
yeah.
"What happens inside the scoring trailer?" Quote in. quotations or not quotations, but parentheses most of the time. You walk in, the player that took your score signs it and hands it to you. You sign it, check it with your own score. Some caddies look at it as well, some don't. Most ask the scoring official what they have in their system, and the official reads them back to you. The reason the scorer can't do it for all of us is that's official is because they're volunteers and they're off maybe 5% of the time, especially if there's a weird ruling. If the score is off, the official will ask which one is correct. You hand it back to the official, he double checks it, enters it into the system, and you're good. Sometimes when guys are pissed, they barely check it, sign it, and give it to the official and walk out. That's usually
Yeah.
when mistakes happen. Jordan had just come off the double, which you mentioned on 18. Probably was a bit heated and didn't go through it thoroughly. Sometimes the player will have it completely blank and write it down the entire 18 holes scoring in the scoring trailer, which I get it. You can probably go back and say, oh, I was +1 there. I was, had a birdie there. And the error that he made was early on in the round on his scorecard. I think it was number 3 where he marked down a 2, or excuse me, a 4. No, he marked down a 3 when he had a bogey on the hole.
Mm.
So, you know, just maybe even hot going back to that hole, didn't care to check it. And I just think it was just one of the things where, we've seen Jordan Spieth struggle with his temper, right?
Yeah.
Um, so am I surprised that it happened? No. Is it human error? Is it totally it's a learning experience? Um, I don't know, man. What do you think about his relationship with Michael Greller? Do you think he's one of these guys just because he's not seen a lot of success here recently, outside of his win at I think at Harbor Town a couple of years ago,
Hmm.
that they end up breaking up here in the next couple of years?
No.
No, you think they stick?
Yeah. I mean, Greller literally ended his teaching career to hop on the bag on a whim. So, bro is here for the long haul. He is here for Jordan Spieth. When Jordan Spieth decides to call it quits, I think Greller decides to call it quits. I mean, I
No,
really think, yeah.
he's
I mean, I
he's
really
so
think
dang young.
Jordan Spieth. He's mid 30s. He's my age. He's a little bit younger than me. He's JT's age. 32, 31, something like that. Bro's got 2 kids now. I mean, again, I'm not saying he should call it quits anytime soon, but I'm just saying when they do
Yeah, man,
decide
you're
to call it
aging him.
quits, I
He's
think they
30.
do it together.
He's 30. He's got
Right.
15 good
But I
years
mean,
left in him.
yeah, but when was his hot streak? From 2013 to 2017. He's almost like a Lydia Ko, where he was hot young, and this might just be ho hum to him. He's trying to get back into it. That's why he won in 2022. He had those 2 dubs. One was like pretty spectacular. He won at the Heritage and stuff like that again. I don't think he's giving up golf anytime soon. But I'm saying though, when it does happen, I think Greller calls it quits too. I mean, those dudes are like really, really like family now. Grellers are always talks about it. Holds me down. He probably has like he probably has like a caddy deal like Stevie Williams or Joey LaCava, where like he gets a salary. Like he don't worry about this winnings and what cut Jordan Spieth made. Like his money's already made, and then he probably get a little stipend off of what he makes from making the cut or from the win or the top five or whatever. They probably already have that stipulated in their contract too. But I don't think Michael Greller is hurting for money to where he's gonna sit here and be like, "Yo, Jordan, like I know you calling it quits, but I'm gonna find somebody else." Because he already like 50, 60 or whatever. I'm aging him too, but Michael Greller is
Yeah, bro.
definitely—he's
Like you
old
trying to,
though.
damn, you trying to put everybody in the grave, bro.
My fault. He old, bro. Greller's old, bro.
You don't let the gray hair fool you, man.
The salt and peppers,
Um,
my fault.
yeah, let's see here. How old is this man? Because here's my thought. Once you get into it and you have Yeah, Greller's 36, bro. He looks old as all get, but he's
That dude looked 51.
well. Hell, you got to listen to Jordan Spieth talk you to death after every shot, and decide and then redecide. I'd be great too if I was
What
Greller,
do you
but
think here, Mikey? What do you think here, Mikey? So that well, that even that well, that to me kind of aligns more with my point. He definitely not. They definitely not retiring. But when Jordan Spieth does retire, he gone too. He's good, bro.
I don't know. He feels at this
They're
point
going
he
on
feels like a
11
lifer.
years.
I know, but I just feel like with players, the modern day ego, that
Yeah,
if Spieth can't get the game turned around, he looks for a fix, right? Unless he's just unbelievably modest and he can really take responsibility for the struggles in his game, the swing change, and that being the result of it, and not necessarily club selection and guidance out on the course, then cool. If he's humble enough to take that on his shoulders, more power to him. I would have big respect for him, but it just
yeah.
feels really tumultuous and feels very much, again, the trend these days is giving up on the caddy when you're not seeing success. All right, clear that throat
I
then,
hope
bro.
I hope he doesn't though. I mean, he's been with Cameron McCormick for like 20 plus years.
Yeah.
I think he has got a lot of loyalty in him, bro.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. Let me pull this up before we get into the Hideki Matsuyama. I wanted to talk about like the one thing that I was noticing, and you kind of brought it up earlier in the week, but even watching the tournament, the what's in the bag from Scott. Dude used to be heavy titleist, clearly has gone as a free agent and has the mixed bag these days.
Yeah.
And I just kind of saw the what is it, QI 10 sitting
Hmm.
down by the ball, and I was like, oh, look what we
Right.
got going on here. Let me pull this bad boy up.
Stel yeah,
Golf
pull it up.
Golf WRX coming through.
Right. In the
I don't
meantime,
know how I closed my
check your
screen out.
Wi-Fi or
Struggling.
check which one you're on. Check which one you're on. Kind of like in and out.
Says I'm on the good one.
Okay. Like you're coming through clear, but like sometimes you're like kind of choppy, and then like your your screen is kind of delayed, but you're good now.
I got you. I got you. All right. Can you see my screen? Is it pulling up?
Yeah, you're clear.
Okay. So we got the. I think what you pulled up earlier was the him, switching over from the Miras to the Strixon. So let me
Yeah.
jump down to the irons first. So right now he's rocking the 3 and 4, the ZX MK Mark II, the Mark
Hmm.
IIs, and the Strixon ZX Mark II or ZX 7. Sorry, 5 through 9. What do you think about the iron choice? You said you had some insight. Mike's playing
Yeah,
Strixons right now.
yeah, he's got a similar hybrid set. So in comparison, like to like models you would know, like TaylorMade wise, like this is like the long irons are like 790s, and then the short irons, the playing irons are like the 760s with a smaller profile, the thinner top line, and pretty much all of the weight being like in the back bottom, like the tungsten weighting and stuff like that. This is pretty much the set that he's rocking right now, so he still feels the same playmaking ability with the short irons, the scoring irons, five in to where his wedges go, and then the 3 and 4, a little bit more help, a little bit more spring off the club to help with trajectory and then with length and not really holding him back. And I think also I think it was crazy because like when you look at some of these bags, the wedge setup and the different shafts that they use in all of these wedges is just literally insane. Like he has the S400s as if he's like, well, hold on, go back up, yeah, right there.
There it is.
So he has The X100 in his 48 and 54, that's a super stiff X100 shaft for true temper. But then in the 56 or in the 58, his sandwich is an S400, which is like a stiff plus. It's a completely different feel and it's a heavier shaft. So to me, it's just like they have been so like in tune with their game that they know what shafts they need for each individual wedge. To me, that is just like insane. Like even
How
for guys
dialed
like
they're in.
this, yeah, they're so dialed. I mean, like some of them have like even down to like the grips that they have on what's in the bag, like extra wraps and things like that. Like, bro, like it's insane, man. Like
Yeah.
the tuning that they do, not to mention that the shit that they have injected into their faces and stuff like that. Like just to get
Or
the weighting together and stuff
tape
like
or
that.
whatever.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, bro. But yeah,
Let's go
let's get
back.
back into the bag. Yeah,
Go
yeah,
back
yeah.
up to his woods.
Seven wood, by the
So
way.
seven wood TaylorMade Stealth, 21 degrees. And I wonder, sometimes when they go seven wood and have you seen some nine woods before? If that's course specific for that
Yeah,
particular week and just some specific need. This graphite design, they're taking over right now. So I think Tiger's even playing this graphite design shaft in a
yeah.
couple
The
of
two
his.
ADs
So
are
that
really
one's
good shaft.
yeah. Five woods, TaylorMade Stealth 2,
Hmm.
18 degrees, Fujikara Ventus TR Blue 9X. That's crazy. And I guess the burner, I don't know if he
Mini
was going in
driver.
between. Yep. Using this as maybe as a three wood,
Yep.
a little
Hmm.
bit, little bit, lower trajectory, rather than maybe the 14 or 15 degree. And again, that TaylorMade Q10 set at 10 and a half degrees. I don't know. I found lately, and you tell me what your thoughts are on this. Going higher with the loft presents a more shut face these days, and I don't know what they're doing. Like I cannot go any higher than what I've been doing. I tried to go back and add loft just to 9 degrees, and that face looks too shut to me. I don't know how some of these guys do it. If they're tweaking something else to, you know, shut that face, but isn't
Yeah.
interesting going through some of these players' bags and seeing some of the higher lofted drivers again. You still see guys around eight, um, some nines, but I saw a lot of 10.5 degree drivers setups this week. What's your
Yes.
thoughts on that?
So that's actually an interesting discussion. So if you look into like these tour vans and stuff like that, like in particular, like TaylorMade. So like TaylorMade had a real big run, maybe 2021, 2022, where they were taking you in the tour bus with Trotty Golf or whatever the like one of their head tour club setters for them.
Fitters, yeah.
Yeah, club fitters. So he's making these very specific clubs for these guys. Like Colin Morikawa got his irons in. But like if you look at a segment like Rory's, Rory has a very specific head that he uses. Scotty Scheffler has a very specific head that he uses, and they built these with these specs. So like the head will have a degree on it, but the actual degree on it is not that. So like both Scotty and Rory play 9 degree 9 degree heads, but they're really lofted at 8.75 or some crazy number like that. And they have them built. It's like and it's just like what you said. It has to do with how the face sits and how it presents down by the ball. Because just like you said, if it doesn't look right down by the ball, I'm not even gonna have the confidence to swing it. So like it's definitely very apparent like when you see things like that. So it's even interesting that you brought that up because like definitely even me playing 10-5 and 10 and 10 and a half my whole life, it still looks shut like this new driver that I'm playing, the TSR3. Dude, like I feel like I have to open it up to feel like it's square. And even then, like it still feels like real like janky. So it takes some eye training to get used to that, bro. Like that's a
No,
really good
no
point you
doubt.
brought up.
Yeah, no doubt. I tried to play at nine, like at nine earlier this year.
Hmm.
First round, it was okay, and I think I was just really focused on it. Second round, I tried to play with it. I just could not do it, and I ended up on the left side of the course the entire round, and
Yep.
I ended up, flipping it and changing it because I just couldn't stand it. I was like, I don't need the assistance to turn the ball over right to left. I don't need
Right.
the artificial, the club. That's just not. That's not. I've never had a hard time hitting a draw with the
Mm.
driver, and so yeah, I think it's just an interesting thing. I think most players are accustomed to hitting a cut, the interesting part, and we're going to get into it when we talk about the Matsuyama and why he was able to kind of dominate on some holes where people struggled this week. It was very interesting to see how many pulls and people were really struggling to start the ball on the left hand side this week and just let it turn over,
Yeah.
including people who traditionally
Fade the ball.
have a reliable cut, like a Gary
Yep.
Woodland.
Or
Was having a really
JT.
hard time with that. Yeah, exactly. So I think that's a good transition. Let's get into it. Let me load up this slide just to kind of show how dominant Hideki Matsuyama was in his final round today. Boy, out here struggle streaming today. Boy is bad. All right, so this should be up. Hideki Matsuyama greatness. So I'll have the scorecard pulled up here. Again, a clean card. The man did not have a bogey at all. Um, came out hot first three holes, which when you look at people's scores today, if you weren't birdieing hole number one, you were already losing strokes to the field. That was really the case
Yeah.
all week. You
Hmm.
had to birdie number one. It's an easy hole. You're getting there in two for the most part, or around the green in two. Um, Bonus points for birdie in two and three, and number three was a chip in from off the green. So
Mm.
let's pull this slideshow up. So pretty traditional. Just the PGA Tour layout. You see how he got just short on number one with the second shot. Had a really efficient chip um, right underneath the hole. I was able
Hmm.
to tap in for bird. Again, number two, um, long par four hole. Puts it in the middle of the fairway. Um, this is the one, sorry, that he chipped in, the number two. That was a really nice chip in. Bonus points. You don't really expect that. But again, dude was dialed in. Either way, it would have been a simple, tap in for par.
Yeah.
Again, playing middle of the green. You're going to see a trend on his approaches.
Hmm.
Number three, hits the center of the green above the hole, puts it in. Three straight birdies to open up. Really, from holes number four on to about nine, pretty ho hum, right? We're just playing solid golf. Hits it long on this par three, gets up and down. I think the when I looked at the kind of the breakdown, he was inches from the hole when he chipped in or chipped up.
Hmm.
Easy tap in for the par. Again, another easy par on the card.
Yeah.
Um, just more of the same. Number six, missed the green, or no, two putted after hitting the green. Middle of the green again. Again, the trend. Pretty straightforward stuff. Um, Middle of the green. Surprising? No.
Yeah.
Two putt. Number 10. This is where we start turning up. Number 10, we know this is the famous drivable par four for this course. Risk reward. There was a lot of risk this week. Players were really struggling with number 10. I I didn't see many people play this very well. Luke List lost his crap yesterday on this particular hole. They
Yep.
get cute in the bunker, especially the bunker short right. But Hideki, short of the green, chips up, makes the putt. What'd you think of number 10 this week and how it played? I don't know. I saw more people hooking it into the left than I traditionally have seen, especially on rounds 2 and 3.
I think number 10 is going to be a headache for forever because people don't want to make up their minds. People have pride, they're young, they want to just drive the green. Then they come out of it trying to just like mash a 3 wood instead of just hitting like a bunt driver or hitting a driver and going into the bunker. But when you have to do that, you have to rely on a good lie in the bunker. You got to make sure that you're getting the right kicks and stuff like that. So I get it. Me personally, if I wasn't really feeling it with the driver, we're going to iron and I'm just hitting a wedge. But
I
even then,
know.
like people are like, they don't want to relinquish that though. Like people are
I,
so goofy. They're just like, well, I don't really, I don't know. So they'd rather hit like a 20 or 30-yard chip to this crazy shaped green instead of playing an 80-yard shot with their 58 where they know they can create spin
with
and
spin,
know they
exactly.
right with spin. So I don't know why they choose to play like this, but again, a perfect example. Patrick Cantlay. Patrick Cantlay ended up in that front side bunker and it screwed up because then he ended up
Yeah,
making a bogey. He had to play one bunker shot. Then he ended up in another bunker. Then he chipped out. He didn't really have a flat lie. He had a decent lie, but he had to put crazy spin on it. Still chased out to 12 feet right on the fringe. Missed the putt. Couldn't read it. Rory in the booth giving him the read. Yeah, I had this putt the opposite side. Mine broke right, left to right. So his should break a little bit left. He played it left to right. Never even touched the cup. It was a bogey all the way. That's what
yeah.
I'm saying. Like, bro, like, yeah.
But I think that's what made
Oh,
Hideki's round just unbelievable, man.
right.
For
He
him
played
to
his
pull a
game.
birdie out of this, like you said,
Hmm.
ended up short, played it short. Had a chance to go in the pins on that Sunday pin, backside of that green, and was able to land short of the hole with the putt going back uphill.
I
So
mean, he's in the best angle. You see it. You
yeah,
play like a little low runner. You pull out your 50 or your pitching wedge. It's going to check release and it's going to take the slope. It's a little split, little ridge in the middle from
yep,
like back right, front left, middle, and stuff like that. So, bro, there was space for you to finagle this and have a shot at it. But, to
yeah.
each their own. You're going
Let's
to play it
keep
the
it
way you
rolling.
want to play it. Yeah. 11 par 5. You got to take
11.
advantage.
This straightforward hole. This is they call it the bowling alley. It was just straight down. If you weren't birdieing this hole, you were losing strokes to the field. So
Yeah.
he gets up there, does what he has to do, ends up a little bit left, of the hole, gets up there, chips it up, easy bird. Same thing on number 13. Played short of the hole. Actually, back it up. Let me back it up. 12. My God. So this whole all week was driving me nuts. I do not. This is one of those holes where I was referring to earlier that players refuse to start it out on the left side of this fairway
Hmm.
and let it bleed over. They were fighting it and going right down the right hand side of the tree line. And you could tell if they started it right on the tree line, just slightly left of the tree line, you were going to end up in that right.
Yeah.
And you were pretty much setting yourself up for a really tough up and down for a par or a bogey. Killer hole all week for this man on Sunday to get up there and put it in the fairway and ended up with a birdie on number 12. Not only I think from a strokes gain perspective do you gain, you're probably gaining close to 2 strokes on the field by birdieing this hole this week.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Definitely.
Somebody else, I'm trying to think who else finished very close to the top of the lead that also did something similar and ended up birdieing. It was not Zalatoris. Zalatoris ended up parring it. Luke List ended up bogeying, or yep, he bogeyed it too. Cantlay parred it. Schauffele bogeyed it. It was just a tough hole. So to come away with a birdie on number 12, superb. I think that
Yeah,
that probably, if not clinched it, really, secured that he was going to do well, take off from there.
yeah,
Um, at number 14, again, just ho hum. This, honestly, I watched this, in real time. This was an incredible shot. This green feeds down to the left. So where number one, his tee shot ended up in the middle of the green, actually was a little bit more center, ended up catching the slope and rolling down to that point, and then,
hmm,
an easy ish two putt from there. But I can't tell you again, just that shot was on a rope. He was
yeah,
playing some golf at this point. Um, and another tough hole, 15. A lot of players ended up in the left hand rough all week. Again, I was like, where are the cuts, bro? Like, where are these cuts that they tell us that pro players hit these days? Because they kept overdrawing this, holding on. They'd end up in the left hand rough, not
yep,
able to get up and down. They were ending up in the front of the green, having to scramble for par. So for Hideki to get on in, right below the hole, just like you said, flagging it, bro.
yeah,
Easy birdie. Easy
easy,
birdie. Nuts. Again, another. I think that's why that ended up leading. He ended up clinching this, with a strong lead at the end because again, this is two strokes on the field.
yeah,
The way people were playing. Also, 16 was playing
same thing,
incredibly tough. Yeah, incredibly tough. I think I duplicated the green look there. So, but again, the boy was balling. I
yeah.
mean, nuts. 17
You had to birdie it
had to
again.
birdie it. Or
I mean, all three par fives that they have out there, like you pretty much have to birdie. Like
yeah,
first one, it makes you lay up, but even then, these dudes hitting they three woods 300. So you telling
yeah,
me they can't hit it to the end of the fairway, and then hit they 6 or 7 iron accurately enough to have an eagle putt or something like that? You got
yeah,
195 in. These guys, some of these guys are pumping a 7 iron in there and just trying to juice it if it's downwind enough, or letting it roll out, or be lofting it a little bit. But dude, I mean, that's one. 11, you got to, bro, Luke List didn't even really hit a good drive and still had 5 iron into the green from 216 out,
yeah,
flagged it some serious. Well, he hit the bunker short right, but it was online. Shoffley hit the same bunker, hold out for eagle. You thought he was
yeah.
right back in it, but then he fell back off. Very next hole, bogeyed it.
Now,
Like,
Shoffley, I mean, good kudos. Had a clean front nine, but
yeah,
had no bogeys, no birdies. Just parred out on the front nine. You got to go get it, bro. You're in the lead,
that
or not in the
last
lead,
group was
but
kind of
you got
embarrassing,
to go. Yeah, I was
if I'm
talking
being
to I
honest.
was out playing. Yeah, when I was playing today, I was like, you're gonna see who's got that killer instinct today. When buddies start playing together, and one can go chase down the other one, you're gonna see who's got the gumption. And at the end of the day, to me, Cantlay and Shoffley both prove that when it comes to the it being it guys, I don't
They
think
don't have
either
that
one of
dog in
them
them.
they don't have that dog at all,
Like,
man.
it's crazy to me though, bro, because like, bro, it's just like what you said originally, bro. If we're the homies and we're in a final group, some text had been sent. They had to have like something like, "Hey yo, like bro, listen, we in that final group, bro. We got to turn up. Like I'm finna cook or something. Like bro, like
Right, do a
talk
side
some
bet or
casual.
something.
Like please, bro,
Get a
please."
side bet going where somebody's wanting to fight at the end of the day. I don't know,
You
bro.
saw him walking off the tee box on number one. They spread out like they kind of like looking at each other, and they not too far apart, but you could already tell they trying to like lock in mentally. Like, bro, like in the beginning, y'all need to be friends. Like, y'all need to be like, we need to get the loot, we need to get loose. Like, I get it, it's nervy and stuff. Like, y'all Cali boys, y'all both want a
Yeah,
minute, win it. But like, bro, to start, y'all should have been kikiing and talking shit. And then as you get into the round, when the tough treading comes, that's when you separate yourself. That's when you walk with your caddy. That's when the conversations stop being a little bit more friendly, because that's when
Yeah,
I'm starting to try to do what I need to do to win the tournament. Until
yeah.
then, though, we need to be friends. We need to
But it
be.
was a
We need to have
but
momentum
from
together. Like,
but both
bro,
of them for to have a combined one over on the front nine between Schauffele and Cantlay.
bad,
That's just poor, bro. You
bad.
can't. You got to know somebody's going to be out there shooting the score. And then Hideki finishes up with 18 again.
Middle of the
You know,
green, perfect
down the
drive.
right side. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, damn.
Oh,
What are you gonna do, man?
when it comes to when it's all said and done, this is gonna be a defining round for Hideki Matsuyama. He'll look back, and if it's gonna go one way or another, but more times than not, he's gonna end up. I think he's gonna be not in that prolific state, but like he just passed KJ Choi for most wins as an Asian player on the PGA
Right.
Tour with that. So again, when you shoot 62 on Riviera, a revered course in golf history, in PGA history, a Tiger Woods sponsored event, and then it being an elevated event all in one, you gonna look back and be like, dude, I shot at 62, 9 birdies, no bogeys. Talk to me nice. And that's
He's
what
got that. He's got that game, man. I've seen him
Masters
hit some
winner.
shots, bro. When I don't know, this was a couple of years ago. I think when he won his last title in 2022, which was the Zozo over in Japan. The man hit this like 3 wood on 18 going in.
For two
That
feet.
was majestic. I mean, it was literally the best 3 wood that I think honestly, that I have ever seen with that much control. And when you see him on his game, and
Yeah,
honestly, injuries are the biggest, I guess, part that keeps us from seeing that continuous greatness from Hideki. If he could
definitely.
stay healthy, man, I mean, the dude is majestic. I'm
Yep.
glad he decided, to stay, PGA Tour side and try to build out a legacy here. But I want him to stay healthy. I think he's 32, 33 at this point. He's got some years left, and if he, like I said, if he can get the body right, I mean, we can expect stuff like this. This would be incredible to see. Even if it's every, you know, 2 majors, two of the four
Definitely.
majors every year, he pulls something out like this, and he's competitive. Um, it's hard to beat him when he's on his A game. To be honest with you.
1000%. I think it's crazy to even say it, but like, bro, he's like, to me, he's like a Rory, and he's putting way better than Rory. So I think he's right around the corner from being like a multi-win season, and putting his name back
Hmm.
on the block for like top treading. I mean, but that's neither here nor there until he proves he can stay healthy. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll definitely
I
see.
mean, we'll see. I'm looking forward to next week, even though the Mexico Vedanta Championship is going to, it's going to be a tier 2 event or tier 2 type event.
Yeah,
I think, Tony Finau is going to be defending, so I know he's going to be over there playing. We're
yeah,
going to see some of these young and up and comers, getting a tour start. I think Brandon Wu has played well here the last 2 years, along with Tony Finau. They've been neck and neck, so we'll see a couple names that we know. Finally, the LPGA will be back on board, and we'll get to see those ladies tee it up again. That'll be refreshing. I'm sure DP World Tour also will be back at it. They took
yeah.
the
They
week
are.
off.
Mhm. They're playing in Kenya. They're doing Magical Kenya Open.
Oh Lord. I just want to see. I just want to see multiple rounds of golf. I know the ladies, I think, played on the LET this week, but they didn't get much
Aramco
TV
series.
time. Yeah, bro.
It was all late. It was all early morning, like 3 to 7 type stuff. Like when they would usually
and
do the
and
DP World Tour.
and they're not getting any replays during the day. I'm sure we'll probably see it
Right.
on Monday, maybe. But
We'll see it on
yeah,
Tuesday. Tuesday 9 to 11 is their normal hour.
bro. This week, I'm glad the Genesis ended up, with the bang, because golf was a little ho hum this week.
It
Yeah,
was a little
I
bit.
I was telling I was telling you, the weather's kind of blah here. I was telling I'm coming off of being sick for the really last couple of weeks, so I'm just ready for spring to come, for Texas to green up, so we can get some quality rounds in.
Definitely.
The Masters is still 2 months out, bro. It's crazy. Um, it's just kind of nuts. But
Yeah.
we got a long year off ahead of us. This is just the tip of the iceberg. So yeah, that's our topic list. You want to add anything else? I swear to God, I mean the I've been watching the NBA All Star game out of the corner of my eye, and it feels like they've just been doing like a layup drill. It's been real
I
boring.
mean, no contest on dunks, and then a lot of like cool 3 pointers or whatnot. I mean,
So
Jalen Brown just went unabated to the rack and almost smoked the left hand layup, bro. Get me out of here, bro. Get me out of here.
Kawhi just took 4 steps and tossed it out to the corner. Yeah, bro. If you're watching the NBA All Star game, go get dinner somewhere. Take your sweet
Yeah,
time. You can
come
come
back
back
for
for the
the third
last
end of the
two
third quarter.
minutes.
Yeah, yeah,
All
for real.
right.
They shooting set shot 3 pointers and stuff like that.
It's
Um,
horrible, bro.
yeah, but on a serious note, shout out to mom once more. We were just out in Sedona. So I'll have a new backdrop when I'm back at the house with my green screen. You'll see my new background. It'll be from one of the courses I played. Really fun stuff. It was a very relaxing trip. Me and mom are both goofballs, so it was literal perfection. I made sure to be on my best behavior so she would not yell at me. We would not
Oh
be on a
Lord.
sour taste. Um, I still almost ended up screwing it up, but she loves me enough to let me off the hook. But yeah,
That
shout out
reminds
to
me.
Yolanda EB. Hmm?
Um, it's in a serious note, and I think this will be a good ending. The group I play with, a guy that founded the group years and years ago, broke away to kind of form it, and we've been able to build it up since then. My guy Joe Vasquez, just was placed on hospice, and
Mm,
given 2 weeks to about 6 months to live, and 6 months is being really optimistic. So I got a chance to drive by and see him today, and I think it just really crystallized for me that like life is not it's not guaranteed, man. And
it's
I
not a
just
given.
it's not, and to see just a wonderful human being uh struggle to hold on to life at age 52, it hurts, man. So again, if you got people in your life, don't take it for granted. Live every day to its fullest, because you just never know when things are going to take a shift, or your body's going to, change up on you. Enjoy this thing. I love this game because it allows us to go out pretty much weekly and go spend some time with guys that we enjoy.
Yeah.
Be out in nature. So again, yeah, man, I just had to say that because
No, amen.
this earth is gonna lose somebody really special to me real soon, and it's a damn shame. So, um, enjoy your life, and we'll be back at this thing next week, man. I'm Rod,
And I'm Marcus.
Bearder Bros Golf Show. We're out.